Let us discuss the next topic in chemical bonding. That is the simple Huckel method. In short form, it is called SHM. It is also called Huckel molecular orbital method or HMO method. The Huckel molecular orbital theory is the simple quantum mechanical model that extends our understanding of molecular orbital methods. The Huckel method is generally used for systems of any pi conjugated molecule and completely ignore the sigma framework of hydrocarbons and treat only the pi orbitals. The 2p orbitals from each carbon atom participating in the pi network is the basis atomic orbitals in the Huckel method. The molecule must be planar, say in the xy plane, so that the principal atoms contribute electrons from their 2pz atomic orbitals to the common pi electron pool. Each center is sp2 hybridized and has one unhybridized p orbital perpendicular to the trigonal sp2 hybrid orbitals. The sp2 hybrid orbitals form a rigid, unpolarizable framework of equal carbon-carbon bonds. The HMO method is confined to carbon atoms only. Here, the hydrogen atoms are not considered at all. The linear combination of atomic orbital, that is LCO method, is used to construct each molecular orbital wave functions with undetermined coefficient in Huckel method. This is followed by constructing and solving the secular equations to compute the energies of the molecular orbitals. A computer is deployed to assist the numerical calculations of secular equations for large molecules. Matrix methods like those employed for vibrational modes of analysis will be used to solve the secular equations for large molecular systems. The charge densities of each atoms in a molecule and also the bond order for bond pairs of atoms can be computed using the HMO method. Also, molecular orbitals will be used for computing the chemically interesting properties such as the electrophilic and nucleophilic character of the chemical reactions. The HMO theory employs some of the mathematical concept and technique that are used in current high-level ab initio molecular orbital calculations. Let us discuss the assumptions and approximations which are used in the Huckel molecular orbital theory. The Huckel molecular orbital theory was introduced by Erich Huckel in 1931. He considered only the delocalized pi electrons, and these pi electrons are moving in a framework of sigma bond. This is in fact the more sophisticated version of the free electron model. The basic assumption of Huckel theory ignores the existence of sigma orbitals and it deals only with the pi orbitals in a qualitative molecular orbital theory of conjugated systems. Let us discuss the different steps in the Huckel molecular theory one by one. The first one is the construction of linear combination of atomic orbitals of the free pi electrons. The geometries and the special properties of conjugated and aromatic compounds may be interpreted in terms of the sp2 hybridization. The unhybridized 2pz atomic orbitals perpendicular to the sp2 hybrid orbitals are available for the formation of pi electron structure. The sigma electrons are disregarded except for their role in establishing the molecular geometry. This enables to treat pi molecular orbitals independently of the sigma molecular orbitals. And this is the first approximation. Here, since we are only interested in the pz orbitals, we will be able to write out the molecular orbitals as a linear combination of the pz atomic orbitals for a system of n carbon atom, and each contribute a pz orbitals to the conjugated system. The total pi electron wave function psi pi is a single product of 1 electron pz orbitals which is called Huckel molecular orbitals. Each Huckel molecular orbital psi I is taken as a linear combination of the carbon 2pz atomic orbitals. Therefore, we can write the ith Huckel molecular orbital psi I, that is equal to Ci1 pz1 plus Ci2 pz2 plus Ci3 pz3 plus etc. up to Cin pzn. That is equal to summation of I is equal to 1 to n Cin pzn. Here psi I is the ith Huckel molecular orbital of the pi system, and pz raised to n is the 2pz atomic orbital of the nth carbon atom, and Cin is the coefficient of the nth atomic orbital in the ith Huckel molecular orbital. The next step is to compute the energy of the Huckel molecular orbital. We know that HMO is an approximate method for the approximate form of molecular orbital theory. So the Huckel molecular orbital theory uses non-interacting electron energy expressions. That is, we can calculate the energy, that is E total, as the summation of energies of I electrons, that is I is equal to 1 to n electrons, where EI is the molecular orbital energies determined in the above step. On variation treatment of the molecular orbital wave function, which gives the lowest value of energy, that is EI, we can find out the expectation value of energy EI, that is equal to EI is equal to expectation value of psi I h cap psi I dt divided by expectation value of psi I dt. To solve this, we have to write the or construct the secular equations. Variational treatment gives n secular equations of the type C11 H11 ES11 plus C12 H12 minus ES12 plus etc. up to C1n H1n minus ES1n, that is equal to 0. Similarly, write all the secular equations up to n, that is Cn1 into Hn1 minus Esn1 plus Cn2 Hn2 minus Esn2 plus etc. up to Cnn Hnn Esnn, that is equal to 0. The corresponding the nth order secular determinant is H11 minus Es11, H12 minus Es12, etc. up to H1n minus Es1n. Write the second row and the final row, that is equal to Hn1 minus Esn1, Hn2 minus Esn2, etc. up to Hnn minus Esnn. This secular determinant will gives n roots of E energy, namely E1n, E12, etc. up to Enn. Here Hij, that is equal to integral of Pzi h cap Pzj dt is the resonance or interaction integral on, and Sij, that is equal to Pzi Pj dt is the overlap integral. Next step is to solve the secular determinant. The evaluation, we have to evaluate the integrals like Hij and Sj by writing the Hamiltonian. It is difficult to evaluate these integrals. In order to solve the secular determinant, Huckel make use some radical approximations in this step that make the algebra much simpler without changing the qualitative answer. The first approximation made was the Pz orbitals are orthonormal. This means that Sij, that is equal to 1 when I is equal to j, Sij, that is equal to 0 when I not equal to j. The integral Sij, which is a measure of the extent of overlap between a pairs of basis functions. Roughly, it is the 2pz atomic orbital representing the carbon atoms I and j, and it is called the overlap integral. That is Sii, that is equal to integral of Pzi Pzj dt, that is called overlap integral. For a perfect overlap between two identical functions on the same atom, the value of Si, that is equal to 1. while for a zero overlap between different wave functions of the same atom or well separated functions of different atoms that correspond to Sij, that is equal to 0. In the simple Huckel method, the energy integrals, that is Hij, are approximated just by three quantities. This approximation assumes that any Hamiltonian integral vanish if they involve atoms I, J that are not nearest neighbors. This makes some sense because when the pz orbitals are far apart, they will have very little spatial overlap, leading to an integrand that is nearly zero everywhere. Hij is negligible in this case, that is equal to 0 if the two carbons I and J are separated by two or more bonds. That is Hij, that is equal to integral of pzi h cap pzj dt, that is equal to 0 for basis functions neither on the same or adjacent atom. When I is equal to j, Hij, that is equal to integral of pzi h cap pzi dt, that is equal to alpha. The alpha is often called the on-site energy because it describes the energy of an electron in a free carbon atom 2pz atomic orbital in that molecule. It is also called Coulomb integral, that is the basis functions are on the same atom. In a simplest view, alpha, the Coulomb integral, is the energy of the molecule relative to 0 of energy taken as the electron and the basis function at infinite separation. Since the energy of the system actually decreases as the electron falls from infinity into the orbital, alpha is negative. That is, the value of alpha is negative. When I is adjacent to j, that is, if j is equal to I plus or minus 1, I and j are neighbors. Therefore, the matrix elements or the determinant will give assumed to be a constant. That is Hij, that is equal to integral of pzi h cap pzj dt, that is equal to beta. Let us assume that its value is beta. This is the last approximation and it is good as long as the carbon-carbon bond length in the molecules are nearly equal. If there is significant bond length alteration, then this approximation can be relaxed to allow beta to depend on the carbon-carbon bond length. The value of beta allows us to describe the electron delocalization that comes from the multiple resonance structures, and hence it is often called resonance integral or bond integral. And it arises due to the arises from the basis functions on the adjacent carbon atoms. The quantity beta, that is the bond integral or resonance integral, is the simplest, in its simplest view, is the energy of an electron in the overlap region of adjacent p orbitals relative to the zero energy taken as the electron and two center molecular orbital at infinite separation. Like alpha, beta is a negative energy quantity. Thus, the resonance integral Hij represents the energy of a single electron moving in an average field of all the nuclei, that is, all the sigma electrons and all other pi electrons. Thus, for a linear conjugated chain, the secular equation, the secular determinant assumes the form determinant of alpha minus e beta 0 0 etc 0 beta alpha minus e beta 0 0 etc 0 0 beta alpha minus e beta 0 etc 0 etc up to 0 0 0 beta alpha minus e, that is equal to 0. This equation can be made still simpler by dividing each element by beta and substitute alpha minus e divided by beta, that is equal to x. Therefore, the determinant will become x 1 0 0 0 etc 1 x 1 0 0 etc 0 1 x 1 0 0 etc continue up to last row 0 0 0 etc up to 1 x, that is equal to 0. This determinant reveals some interesting features. That is, it is seen that the x appears on the principal diagonal. The number 1 appears in positions where the indices I and j correspond to the bonded carbon atoms, and 0 appears where they are not bonded. This generalization enables to write the Huckel determinant of a conjugated hydrocarbon by looking at the structure of the molecule by using the following procedure. First, For this, in the first step, sketch the framework of hydrocarbon by indicating the carbon atoms by numbering, that is 1, 2, 3, etc. up to n. Then fill the n by n determinant with the x's on the principal diagonal and 1 on positions where row and column indices corresponding to the neighbors and 0 everywhere else. Check the determinant is symmetric with respect to the reflection plane through the principal diagonal. For example, a 4 by 4 determinant is obtained in the case of a butadiene. The next step is to calculate the HMO energy levels. On expanding the n by n determinant, we obtain a polynomial of n degree of x which has n real roots, that is x1, x2, x3, etc. up to xn. Since we know that x is equal to alpha minus e divided by beta, a root xj leads to an energy Ej of the jth molecular orbital, that is Ej is equal to alpha minus xj beta. There will be n energy level corresponding to n Huckel molecular orbitals, each being expressed in terms of alpha and beta. Since alpha represents the energy of a p electron bound to a carbon atom in a molecule, it is negative relative to the free electron. Similarly, beta represents the energy of an electron in a bound, and its value is also negative. It is already mentioned just above this slide. Thus, for a negative root of xj, Ej is equal to alpha minus xj beta, which is less than alpha. It corresponds to the bonding level. For a positive root of xj, Ej that is equal to alpha minus xj beta, that value is greater than alpha, it corresponds to the antibonding level. And when n is odd, there occurs a root xj is equal to 0. For this, Ej is equal to alpha minus xj beta, that is equal to alpha. It corresponds to non-bonding level. Since beta like alpha is negative, alpha plus beta and alpha minus beta levels are lower and higher energy respectively than the non-bonding level. Next, we have to calculate the HMO coefficient. By inserting the values of E one by one in the n simultaneous secular equation, the relative values of Huckel molecular orbital coefficients, that is Ci1, Ci2, etc. Cin, are obtained. Absolute values of these coefficients can be determined using normalization conditions, that is integral of psi I square dt, that is equal to 0, substituting the value of psi I square and solving, we get Ci1 square plus Ci2 square plus Ci3 square plus etc. up to Cin square, that is equal to 1, because the functions pz1, pz2, etc. pzn are already normalized, and the integral pz r pz s d2, that is equal to srs, that is equal to 0 by Huckel approximations. For each value of E, we obtain a set of coefficients constituting a Huckel molecular orbital. For a conjugated system of n carbon atom, there will be n Huckel molecular orbitals. The n pi electrons of a molecule will fill up in the Huckel molecular orbital in the increasing order of energy, with the 2 electrons of opposite spin being accommodated in the Huckel molecular orbital. The following figure shows the pi molecular orbitals and pi energy levels of for a cyclic 4p orbital system in the simple Huckel method. The molecular orbitals are composed of the basis functions of 4p atomic orbitals and the eigenvectors, while the energies of the molecular orbital follow from the eigenvalues. This particular diagram is for the square cyclobutadiene molecule. The paired arrows represent a pair of electrons of opposite spin in the fully occupied lowest molecular orbital, that is psi1, and the single arrows represent the unpaired electrons of the same spin, one in each of the 2 non-bonding molecular orbitals, psi2 and psi3. The highest pi molecular orbital, psi4, is empty in the neutral molecule. References: Quantum Chemistry, P.K. Prasad, New Age International Private Limited, and Computational Chemistry, Introduction to Theory and Applications of Molecular and Quantum Mechanics, Errol Lewis.